Nat 20. Hello adventurers, Merlin here, ready to dive into another Dungeons & Dragons adventurer video. So we're looking at the second issue of Delivery 8 and we are looking at 28. So another fun-filled adventure. We're continuing our 7-parter. So yeah, we get that new exclusive adventure. We set goals for our characters that they want to achieve through their adventures. We have Piscine Predators, the Sahaugens, and the knowledge domain for the Cleric there. Plus we can also make fantasy friends as we continue our look at Sidekicks. So, picking things up from the rather dismal gift in issue 27, we actually have a rather fancy glittery green set in a nice tin from 28. So yeah, really nice set. Was pretty hard to get them across on camera, but if I angle the light just right, they will look quite nice. But we're going to be getting them out and rolling them anyway. So, before we jump over the table, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, as we're getting more and more members every day. Also, don't forget to check all the links in the video description down below, including my Patreon page, where you can get access to these videos early. So, a big thank you goes out to all my supporters from Patreon or YouTube. Thank you all very much. Right, let's hop over and take a look at issue 28. So here we are, up close and personal with issue 28, and we'll start things off, of course, with our free gift. So yeah, let's have another look at that cover, just because I do like looking at these artworks. So yeah, nice lot of information in this issue. And we get a nice little gift as well. These dice are actually pretty fantastic looking. So let's get them out of the bag first off. And we can see my reflection there in the plastic. That's helpful. So actually, let's remove that. That's a lot better. And we can see, wow. Yeah, without that plastic in the way, these really do shine quite nicely. So let's get them out and give them a couple of rolls. So out of the case, you can see that they are even nicer. So yeah, really nice sort of jade green look, and that glitter on the inside really helps them to shine. Give these guys a little roll as usual. Ooh, not too bad. 66 on the D110. 2, 3, only a 1 on the 12 and 6. And a 17 there on the D20. So pretty good mid-rolls. Not too bad. Yeah, really like those. So yeah, really nice. This one's quite a murky colouring to it, but we still do have that nice shine all over. So let's see if we've worn off the bad luck on those low rolling dice. And we'll give them a secondary roll. Okay, a little better. We've gone the other way on the D6 now. We have the highest value. We've got 4, 2, only a 1 on the D10 there, 4 on the D4, 5 on the D20, and 4 on the D12. So, again, a mixed bag, but a rather nice set of dice anyway. So, yeah, I could definitely see myself using those, especially for a character who likes green. I do have a fondness for all the green dice so far. These and the premium set are definitely my favourites, though. Right then, let's take a look through the actual issue. Right then, let's dive on into issue 28. So, full contents. We have Adventure Free, Encounter 28, Dance of Swords. So, heading off into the Moonshade Isles. Sage advice, we got how to add friends and allies for the DM, how to make use of your NPCs, especially those that'll be in that way recurring characters. Character creation, so we've got quite a lot here. We have Sidekicks, Golden Goals, Cleric Knowledge, and War Domains. Plus monsters, we have a couple. We have the underwater Sahaugens, and we have the mischievous little Redcaps. So with issue 28 comes a glittery set of green dice. Keep them safe in the tin once they've finished taking part in your latest daring encounter. We of course have our QR code and our usual blurb at the bottom. Alright, start off with Friends and Allies. Sage advice to the DM here. So, during their encounters, adventurers can sometimes forge close ties with recurring NPCs, and the DM will need to spend time fleshing out these friendly faces. So, yeah, it's a nice little article, covers how to really bring to life all your NPCs that you create for your games, especially those that will be taking part in the adventures sometimes with your party. So yeah, you could just be a friendly innkeeper who gives them lodgings and helps them with rumours on quests, etc. Shop owner who gives them discounts for bringing them interesting and rare items, or perhaps the captain of the local guard. So some of these characters might be background contacts. So if you've got the spy background, you'll have a contact that you can keep in contact with. So these are very handy characters to have that can turn up, give them important information, and then disappear again. So we've got patrons, as we mentioned earlier. These are like the innkeepers, etc., and maybe even members of the factions, such as the Harpers or Zentrim. Finally, campaign contacts. These might be characters that are requiring the aid of adventurers in order to complete a personal quest and will be disappearing once that quest has been completed, and will most likely not see them again in future adventures. Moving on to character creation, we're continuing our look at sidekicks. So if your sidekicks stick around, they can develop new features just like you. Learn how to take your party's faithful companions from 1st to 5th level. So yeah, this article actually is pretty handy and includes everything you need for upgrading your characters from 1st to 5th level, or well, your sidekicks. So yeah, leveling up isn't something enjoyed by player characters. Sidekicks that attach to the party can also progress. So we'll flip over and we have a complete list. So each of the 3 classes, expert, spellcaster, and warrior, are described, and we got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th level. So most of the decent stuff comes in at the early levels. So for expert, you get bonus proficiencies, and you can also do the help action. Spellcasters, again, you get some bonus proficiencies, and you have, of course, the spellcasting class, depending on what you are, whether you're a mage, a healer, or a prodigy there. So at 1st level, you get 2 1st level spell slots and of course 2 cantrips. And for the warrior, again, he's got his own bonus proficiencies there, so mostly strength, dexterity, stuff for survival, etc. 2 skills he can know. So there's also a couple of skills each of the others can know. And he has his martial rolls, so he can choose to either be an attacker, giving +2 to his attack rolls, or a defender, enabling him to impose disadvantage. Then at 2nd level, experts gain the cunning action, giving them a chance to disengage, dash, and hide as a bonus action. Spellcasters gain a new spell slot and learns a new 1st level spell. Warrior gains access to the 2nd wind ability. 3rd level, expert gains the expertise. So it gains more proficiency bonus improvements. So in this case, it doubles for 2 of their skills. Spellcasting, again, you get additional spells, 1st level and another 1st level spell and 1st level spell slot. And warrior, you get the chance to crit on a 19 or 20. At 4th level, the expert spellcaster and warrior all get an ability score improvements, so either +1 to 2 abilities or +2 to 1 ability, as long as it doesn't go above 20. Additionally, spellcasters level 4, they can learn another cantrip. Finally then, at level 5, expert spellcaster and warrior again increase their proficiency bonuses, so all 3 classes increase their proficiency bonus to +3. Then spellcaster, additional spells, so gains 1 first level spell, 2 second level spell slots, and learns a new spell which can be first or second level. Also, as with any level increase, they can switch any one spell for another, meaning they can change a first level to a second level. So yeah, for more on the sidekicks and progressing beyond 5th level, we can check the sourcebook Tasha's Cauldron of everything. Moving on, we have golden goals. So your character's backgrounds and bonds can be woven into the game to create a richer experience for everyone at the table. So in real life, each person is unique, with their own dreams and personal goals. To create a truly memorable, well-rounded character in the fantasy world of Dungeons & Dragons, you should think of them in the same way. So yeah, nice. So we move into looking at collaboration, so working with your other players and your DM, of course. How to improve your character's background, how to make them strive towards the goals that they want, etc. So for instance, this Tiefling Thief, her goal might be to steal the greatest treasure from a dragon horde without waking the dragon, or something like that. So we got to think about personal goals, so what does your character want to achieve, and then the DM can help in how to achieve it. So perhaps you want to restore family honor, rescue a beloved, or even find that person to settle down and start a family with. It's a nice way to think about how to build your character. So simple goals such as get rich make it easier to fit into any adventure really. So the more complex a goal, the more interesting. And then mining your background, so every character decides on a background. During your character creation, this explains how they lived before becoming an adventurer. So for example, our Tiefling Warlock Zella has noble, meaning she was raised in a position of privilege. Yeah, so something extra to think about, how to improve how your character has worked in that background before they became the adventure. So yeah. Next up then, we have 2 new class cleric domains to look at. We have knowledge first off. So as a cleric of the knowledge domain, you'll find that the greatest treasures are those stored in your mind. As a cleric of the knowledge domain, all knowledge is holy, whether that's through learning as much as you can, teaching students, or hoarding secrets. So what gods do clerics of knowledge worship? In our mythology, it's Athena, Thoth, and Odin. But in the Forgotten Realms, we look at Ogma, god of knowledge, Savras, god of divination and fate, or Azuf, god of wizards. So benefits of being part of the knowledge domain. So your spells not only provide further knowledge, but also how to put that information to use. At first level, you get Identify, which gives you ready appraisal of magic items and how they operate. Third level, it gives you Augury, which allows divination of future results before making crucial decisions. Your other domain spells help with the application of knowledge, even of how to manipulate others to your needs. First level command gives them a single word command, such as run. Second level suggestion, you can extend that to run to the nearest town where help can be found. So I've actually got command on my cleric because he's life domain. He's got access to run in his list as well. So yeah, I can make enemies run away pretty much. At second level though, you also get Channel Divinity, so granting you proficiency in any tool or skill for 10 minutes. Through this domain, you can truly become the vessel of the gods' acquired wisdom. So finally then we have a little bit about how to roleplay a knowledge domain. So your background will likely started in a scholarly path, whether a sage, magical understanding, or an acolyte, religious understandings. But knowledge isn't just reserved for the ivory towers of academia. You will have gained some knowledge through any background, really. Excuse me. So as you shape your character, you might also consider what, if any, specific research most excites you. Then we have another top tip at the bottom. Clerics characters, such as Razagar here, is part of the life domain. If you want to try out another domain, you can adjust the character sheet or create a new one at D&D Beyond. So yeah, it's nice to have the information here and to even try it out for yourselves. Next up then we have the Cleric Warrior domain. So march resolute across any battlefield as a Cleric of the War domain. Fighters, barbarians and monks are not the only classes that can go toe-to-toe with monsters. There are those so devoted to the arts of combat and battle that they worship the very gods of warfare. In our mythology, gods such as Perun, Ares and Bellona. In the Forgotten Realms, Bane, Tempest and Tyre. So, benefits of being a Cleric of the War domain. Whatever your approach, your domain spells and abilities not only encourage your place on the battlefield, but augment your strengths and resources there. To start, your added training has better prepared you for combat. Your proficiencies with martial weapons and heavy armor expanded Cleric standard options to further include swords, great axes, polearms, as well as full suits of chainmail, splint and plate. So you get spells such as Shield of Faith for defensive bonuses, offensive magic. Starting at first level, you can use Divine Favor to inflict more damage on your attacks. Third level, you get the Magic Weapon ability, which is a brilliant ability. Summoning I've got Spiritual Weapon, which is similar to Magic Weapon, but basically allows you to bring out a spectral weapon that can fight for you. In addition to spells, your Priest's feature lets you make an extra attack as a bonus action a number of times equal to a long rest. Finally, role-playing your war domain when it comes to your arms and armor. Even the shape of your spiritual weapon, you might consider if they reflect those carried by your god. Do you wield a hammer as befitting Tempest, Heronius, or Thor? Or perhaps you wear a heavy gauntlet in honor of Torm or his brother Bane. Is your holy symbol emblazoned upon your shield? So yeah, think of these little bits when you are designing your character and how it actually affects you in game. Moving on, we've got a couple of new monsters to look at before we dive into our adventure. First up then, the Sahaugen, or Sahaugen, funny little name, Sahaugen. So there we go. The bloodthirsty predators of the Forgotten Realms claim the oceans, the shallows and the coastlines as their hunting ground, slaughtering anyone and everyone who strays into their territory. So yeah, don't think out on the ocean is safe. You have monsters everywhere, pretty much. So yeah, tales of these sea devils are told to children as a warning not to stray too far from the rock pools, and sailors fear the day they hear the low, malignant drone of a conch shell horn signalling an attack. So they're fish or piscine humanoids who dwell in the deepest fathoms of the ocean. Males are the largest and have 4 arms. So these are the rulers, known as barons, usually oversized males. For females, though, they are often the vessels of their most revered and malevolent god and have access to magic. So swimming of sharks, Sahaugen actually worship the titanic hungry shark god Sekala, who is a brutal 2-headed shark. And yeah, we see a female Sahaugen there sacrificing an eel in order to bring forth the avatar of their god. So much like sharks, a single drop of blood can throw these guys into a vicious frenzy. And yeah, not very nice to meet. So spies, they are self-declared rulers of the sea. They have an enmity for aquatic elves and are pretty hostile towards them. A Sahaugen born close to an aquatic elf community may enter the world as a Malenti. This Sahaugen looks like an aquatic elf. They become spies and assassins infiltrating the elven community. And then we have the Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So mentioned to the official source book, Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So this introduces several new Sahaugen threats, including Blade Masters, which are veteran Sahaugens. decorated with the bones of fallen enemies. And the army's rank is bolstered by champions, smashers, who can swing deadly hammers even underwater. So yeah, if you want to face these guys specifically in a more focused campaign, grab yourself the Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Finally then, for monsters, we've got the small but very vicious Redcaps. Beware these fey beings that possess a dangerous combination of sharp blades and serious anger issues. So what might look like a little hobgoblin is actually a very vicious little creature. So the Redcaps are born from the spilling of blood. And as such, they have a bit of a hunger towards blood and will seek it out in pretty much any way, whether it's spilled by their hands or by others. As the name suggests, they have bright red hats on their heads, which are the first things to poke out of the earth from when they are born. So yeah, options to include these guys in encounters. So Dark Side of the Feywild. They sometimes pop up in circuses and carnivals or even gladiator arenas. There are urban investigations. Perhaps there's a Redcap at work who's a suspect for a crime. So another little hook for you there to add to your adventures. And they are servants of horror. So perhaps a Redcap is being used by someone with darker power, such as a vampire here, as they both seek and hunger for blood. So top tip for the DM here, so Redcaps follow in the spirit of the titular stars of the Gremlins. Madcaps feel more like they belong in the zanier Gremlins too. In both cases, their sudden dangerous attacks can be played like those unleashed by the speedy zombies from films such as 28 Days Later, or even the professional wrestler Schmoz. And then we have Madcaps, which we've known from the Goblins. These are the they are Redcaps, but they are actually born through the ichor of demons rather than the blood of living. Finally then, for our issue, we have our encounter, Dance of Swords. So, balanced for third level characters, players can use pre-generated characters or even their own, have a playtime of 1 to 2 hours, and so let's look at the encounter background. Adventuring elf historian Linnea Aloro is on the run after crossing a coven of hags that dwell in the crags of Hardan Height. To hunt her down, the hags have performed a murderous rite to summon a fey creature called a Redcap. Escorted by the hags' loyal thralls, the Redcap pursues Linnea to the port of Narhelm, where it hopes to corner her and fulfill its mission before she escapes to sea. Thankfully for Linnea, the adventurers have a ship that can whisk her to safety, but can she win their favour in time to save her hide? To succeed in this encounter, the adventurers must save Linnea from the Redcap pursuer and aid her escape to sea. So, beginning our encounter, we got a little bit here about the Laeron, the Isle of Kings, the port of Narhelm there, beautiful picture there. The Jarl's Cap, so this is the drinking hall we enter. So the Dance of Swords arena, so a load of swords and shields causing the arena. Then we have our elf on the run, so description of Linnea, whether she wins, whether she's defeated, what is she running from, so we can find out. Then we confront the Redcap. Then thump, thump, thump. So the Redcap approaches. We have treasures to receive as well. 50 gold. Fairwild brandy worth there. Then we have our ending, which is obviously escaping. So we have a guard, stat block, a Redcap stat block. And we got a scout, which I'm guessing is going to be for our elf there as well. Alright, let's bring everything back in. I'll give you my final thoughts on issue 28. So there we have issue 28 of Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer. Yeah, rather interesting issue. Some nice new creatures that we are encountering. Very nice to read up on. I believe we do face some of the Sahaugens in a future adventure. After all, we are at sea and there's plenty of dangers even there. We have some nice new bits on how to build our character's background, set them goals, and add new levels to our sidekicks. And we also have that article for the DM on how to flesh out their recurring NPCs. So yeah, the dice set we get again are in a tin, and they are really nice. A nice, pretty glittery green set. I must admit, I do enjoy looking at these, and I can see myself using these perhaps for my character who I'm currently playing in my campaign. Yeah. Finally, then, of course, we also get those new domains for our clerics. So if you want to change your cleric domain, feel free to create your own character. And yeah, take yourself down one of those paths instead of life domain. Really then, that's pretty much all there is to say about this issue. So for a rating, I think it's a solid issue. It's a 5 out of 5 for me for this one. Good dice, good content. Yeah. Definitely a pick-me-up when compared to issue 27. So with that said, that's pretty much all I can say about this issue. Let me know if you've enjoyed it in the comment section down below. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't done so already, and stay tuned for more Dungeons & Dragons content. So, until next time, stay safe and keep rolling those crits.